Welcome to the Education Corner, a podcast by Education Choices magazine.
Education Corner podcast would like to welcome Mr. Robert Milne, Master of Dulwich College, London. With both a junior and senior school, Dulwich College takes boys from the ages of 7 to 18 years old and children from 6 months to 7 years old in their co-educational ducts, kindergarten and infant school. They say the college aims to be an aspirational, positive and exciting environment for all our pupils. We help them to thrive, find their passions and leave with a sense of purpose, compassion and quiet confidence for the difference they will make in the world. The school boasts small class sizes, allowing for lots of individual attention and offers a wide range of extracurriculars to enrich school life. Rob joined Dulwich College as Master this year, having previously been head at Emmanuel School, and has held roles including Deputy Head at King's College School at Wimbledon, Head of English at Magdalen College School, Oxford, and Head of House at King Edward School, Birmingham. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks very much, Chloe. Nice to be here.
Firstly, could you tell us about your background and how you came to your role at Dulwich College?
Yeah, I mean, Chloe, first of all, your facts are correct on how that happened. So yeah, I mean, essentially, I've been fortunate in the schools that I've worked in. I actually did start off in a large co-ed boarding school called Oundle. So I started at Oundle, and then, as you say, I went to King Edward's in Birmingham, head of English at Magdalen, and also I ran a house at Magdalen as well. Then I went to be pastoral deputy head at King's, then head at Emmanuel, and then obviously now here. I think probably, one thing that's always been really important to me is in all of those posts, I'd say that even when I was head of English, I was also head of a house. I was also coaching various different sports. I'm really committed to the wider life of schools, and therefore somewhere like Dulwich, which has got such a vibrant, broad co-curricular and curriculum, is a really appealing place for me as well. And underpinning that, it's got this really fantastic and very positive, warm pastoral ethos and culture. So I think all those things really attracted me to it. And also, and I know it's the case for a number of prospective families and other people who work here and the governing body, the other thing that I've found very attractive about the college is it has got a very significant social mission. And we have a range of pupils from all manner of different backgrounds, locations, demographics in the college. And that's something which, we are incredibly proud of and we want to sustain as much as we can.
The school's website describes your aims as to nurture a supportive, diverse and inclusive community that encourages a sense of social responsibility. How do you embrace and promote equality, diversity, inclusion and belonging and social responsibility at the college?
Yes.
It's quite a big question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, just cover that in a few seconds. Look, there are lots of different ways that we systematically go about that through all of the things that I suspect are the case in lots of schools. And, especially in London, there's so many fantastic, and in the country, there's so many fantastic schools. So whether it's through PSHE lessons or it's through assemblies or it's through people coming in and speaking. But I think fundamentally, like all of us, pupils and their families look to the experiences they have every day. How am I treated? How do I watch other people be treated? What is the type of language that's used in the college? What are the things that the college supports? How do the people in and around the college act? So I think those are the things that are really important. So I think as teachers and all of our operational staff and governors and pupils, we're very mindful of those areas. How do we treat each other? What do we say to each other? How do we act? What are the things that we support? What do we do? So I think it's more about what you actually purposefully do than the various things that you put on. So I think, the pupil body can see that we champion particular charitable initiatives, or we are very supportive of pupil-driven initiatives, whether that be to do with kind of individual pupil rights or sense of identity, or whether it might be to do with particular groups' rights or senses of identity as well. But yeah, I hope that's not overly nebulous. But I think that, I suppose what I'm trying to say at heart is, I'm not so much of a fan of giving you lots of different sort of curriculum structures and ideas. What I'm saying is, I think that pupils see that we care because of the way in which they're treated and the way in which we all seek to act every day towards one another.
And at Dulwich College, you have a strong boarding community of over 140 boarders from around the world.
Yeah.
How are boys supported through the boarding and house system, and how does it benefit them?
Yeah, well, I think it benefits them, but it also benefits all of the pupils who are at the school. We've actually got the Borders Christmas dinner this Friday, so I'll be looking forward to being there at that. We've got about 150 boys, as you say, who attend the school, and they come from all sorts of different places. They've got obviously boarding house parents who look after them, and then we've got a head of boarding as well. Each of the pupils, and majority, I should say, sorry, majority of the pupils who board with us are here for what we'd call full boarding with exeats. But we do have a growth of interest in pupils who are looking to be here on weekly boarding. And we're very much looking at that from the new year in terms of whether we can develop our weekly boarding and also what we might call a bit more flexible boarding as well. Typically, boarding starts at year 9. Typically, we start at year 9 and it goes through to the sixth form. We've got 3 houses, although one of the 3 houses is split into 2 parts. So you could almost say 3.5, 4. And obviously, you've got a big schedule of different events that takes place weekly and events at the weekend. But we've also got, once the pupils are in school, they're all part of normal form times. They go to all of the other lessons, etc. So, and they come under the support and oversight of the head of school, whether that's sixth form or middle school as well. So I think they have a really positive time. They definitely enjoy it. They definitely enjoy being here. And I think, they get really positive pastoral support, but also, as I say, they're very much involved in the main life of the school too, from an academic point of view. And by and large, majority of our boarders tend to come in and do incredibly well and thrive. And they're part of, and I hope this is okay just to link into it, they're part of a very large international community that the college has as well. I mean, we've got several schools in different parts of the world now established, and we're looking to open other schools in the coming years as well. So we're very proud of this fantastically large alumni community, which is large and incredibly active, both domestically but also globally as well. So, I think one of the great opportunities and privileges for boys and pupils who come here is that they become part of this incredible global alumni community, and it's growing all the time. And we're seeing now these schools that started several years ago abroad, they're becoming more established, more organized, and they're really interested in their own alumni programs, how we can all connect and work together as well, beyond the time that the pupils are in school. So it's all very, there's lots of very interesting things happening at the moment.
2 questions from what you said. Firstly, the flexi boarding, I think, is something that parents are increasingly looking at, with many families, both parents working, work commitments, and also school commitments being
Yes.
able. It works quite well for the school and parents, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, it's nice to start voicing this on a large public podcast, but it is something, though. It is something, Chloe, that we have been talking about, because like you, I'm conscious, on a weekend we have all of these different sports fixtures or music events or whatever, all manner of different things with other schools. And I'm often talking to parents whose child is going further afield, weekly boarding or flexi boarding. And some of those families also raise with me a question about, as well as our own families, does the college offer that opportunity in the school, and would it be able to think about adapting to be able to offer it a bit more in the coming years? And I think the answer to that is yes. We're very interested in that. And yes, you are absolutely right, because I think one of the things that is incredible about the college is just that amazing breadth of experience that our pupils can have. I mean, I've been incredibly lucky, I think, in the schools that I've worked in. It's been an incredible privilege. But I think as somebody, I don't know if people who are listening know this, I've only been at the college now since the middle of August. But in that period of time, I don't think I've been part of a school, um, certainly a day school, that offers the breadth
Right.
of co-curricular experience to the pupils is simply astonishing. So yes, you're absolutely right that we often have boys who are leaving quite late, or they're committed 6 days, in some cases, 7 days a week. And for them, yeah, weekly boarding or something could work really, really well. Equally, we're conscious that a lot of boys like to get home and enjoy being at home as well. But I think absolutely. There is a
It's a
real
level of
connection with the
commitment,
breadth.
isn't it? If they're a
Yeah,
rower, they've got to be in at
yeah,
5. If they're doing a play, they might be there till 9, 10 at night.
yeah. And
That
it's
there's
friendship,
so
and
much.
it's friendships as well. It's friendships as well. And I think your point is friendships, and it's about welfare too, and a bit about preparation as well for higher education. We sometimes see that when boys are getting older, that their families are interested in them spending a bit more time at the college, which is good preparation. But I think you're also right that the majority of our families will be, both parents will be
Working.
working, and
Yeah.
I think that is increasingly the case. We're all incredibly aware of how challenging fees are, and that's been affected by VAT of late. And so we're very mindful of that, and we could see that that's something that families may appreciate.
It's definitely a question we increasingly
Mm,
get asked. We even have
mm,
problems getting parents into the school because of work and travel and everything else. And I imagine, just further to that, that with the other Dulwich schools, which obviously you've got a
yeah.
number of now globally, there must be a lot of exchange between you.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's all manner of different things. We have sort of set piece Olympiad events where we have pupils from our school going out to one of the schools, depending on which one it is in turn, um, around the world for all manner of different events. But we also have more ad hoc things. One of the boys in our sixth form has just run an essay competition for all of the schools in the group, which has been really well supported. We've got our captains of schools, who are our sort of senior prefects. They're going out to one of the schools in the new year. So it's an incredible, and we also have teachers. I've currently got a teacher who's one of our deputy heads. He's currently out as head of Dulwich College Shanghai at the moment. So all of these networks every year, these relationships and networks are evolving and building and growing. We're just starting next year in the coming summer for pupils in year 9. They're going to have this amazing outward bound experience with one of the schools, which is connected to the group we work with for all our international schools in Switzerland. So a number of our year 9 pupils are going to be able to go out there and experience all manner of, well, experience a different type of school, but also experience, all these amazing outward
Different
bound
culture.
opportunities in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's huge scope in that, both for the pupils and also for our teachers, and also as well, increasingly, I think from a sort of curriculum innovation perspective as well. I mean, there are, as you can imagine, there are some incredible developments going on in, say the Dulwich in the Dulwich College out in Singapore or Shanghai, and we're looking to tap into that and share ideas and move forward as quickly as we can too.
In your welcome on the school's website, you state, our pupils, colleagues and governors wish to positively shape the college through their actions, thoughts, achievements, sustaining its relevance and ensuring its local, national, and international benefit for as many people as possible. The website also describes how you offer many educational partnerships, community action programs, and share your facilities where possible, which are obviously, for an inner London school, very impressive.
Yeah.
Could you just share a little bit more about your partnership work and why it's so important to the college?
I suppose the partnership, as I said at the start, really about things that attracted me to the college, the partnership work links very much to the college's kind of DNA, its sense of social mission and purpose. You know, we have a huge number of pupils who are supported financially at the college annually. That's an amazing commitment that we're able to make, and it's something that we want to sustain. We're very interested in having and maintaining a very diverse pupil body, and we want to be able to have people across the whole social spectrum as well. So, as part of that, we also have some very big partnership programs. I could tell you about lots of them, but I probably think there's two that are worth really highlighting. One is we've got a Southwark Schools Partnership, Learning Partnership, so the SSLP, which I'm a co-director of, and it's got 19 local secondary schools involved in it. We've got all manner of different programs there that are run through that SSLP partnership, and we cover everything really from STEM initiatives, with engineering days, Oxbridge preparation, maths masterclasses, sustainability conferences, EDI committees. So all manner of different things, and that sees schools from all different sectors coming together and working all the time. And then the other big program that we have, which we really care about and champion, is we're part of the Southwark Community Education Charity, which has got 90, for us, it sees 90 Key Stage 2 pupils coming to our site every Saturday morning, and we run programs with science, creative arts, and music. This weekend, I saw people dissecting a lamb's heart, which the pupils were, enjoying. And then I suppose finally, the other piece that we do, which is an amazing thing, is we have a service day annually, and we see about 800 senior pupils and well over 100 different staff involved in local initiatives that hopefully make the environment around us better as well. So it's not just, I suppose, in me saying that and explaining those things, it's not just that we say it or we talk about it or we put it on our website. It's very much part of what we do. It's a commitment that's enduring all the time, with me at the top of one of these very large directorships and partnerships across all of these schools. But it's also a commitment that we have, which is embedded within our weekly timetable, where we're benefiting a huge number of boys and girls from local schools. More than half of those pupils who are coming in on those Saturday mornings, they're pupil premium young people as well. And so we know there's an area of need, and we can really target there and make a difference. And our pupils actually, they teach within it. They teach and they support and they mentor, and they love doing it. So yeah, it's really positive.
That's fantastic. And so inclusive as well.
Yeah.
Your co-curricular program includes over 150 visiting speakers, 200 performance opportunities, 1,100 sports fixtures, and over 100 trips and expeditions. It's a fantastic co-curricular offering, and it's obviously very important. And how do you feel your pupils are benefiting from it?
Yeah, it is absolutely remarkable. It's remarkable. How do I think the pupils are benefiting? I'm trying to think of a way that, because it's very
for everyone.
Yeah, it's very, that's absolutely right. But I suppose what I really want for the pupils in the school, because obviously you have the big visual impact things, so the sport, the orchestras, all of these things. But I think one of the things that we're incredibly fortunate here, and it's partly to do with the scale, as you just mentioned, there's 70 acres of facility and space here, which is just astonishing for a school that's so close to the middle of London. It's absolutely astonishing. But I think what what I'm struck by when I meet pupils who've been to the school, so old Elanians, people who've been to the school, the amount of times that they say, it was this particular club or this society that I joined or this after school talk that I went to that's given me something that I've found that's given me friendships, it's given me self-esteem, and it's given me something that I've loved for the rest of my life, and whether that might be, you know, pottery. Knitting club is very popular in year nine with the boys. Whatever it might be, niche music club. The other day we had a stamp collecting society meeting and talk given, by a history teacher, as well as all of the more traditional things you might expect to go on, or just giving them chances to go and see and experience parts of the country that they may not go to at other times. I think that's the main thing for me, that because of the breadth of the place, we can just offer so all of these different opportunities that make such a big change to young people's lives. But the key bit, I think, for me is this point around friendships and confidence and finding something that people love. Because invariably, you know, I've probably been head now for a decade. And before that, I sort of did another 5, 6 years as deputy head. And in all that time, it's been incredibly rare for me to meet a young person, boy or girl, who's really struggling in terms of the sense of their well-being or self-esteem, if they've got something beyond their daily curriculum that they really love and engage with, and it gives them a sense of confidence and purpose. Because inevitably, and I think we forget this as we get older, education mixed with adolescence is it's a deeply emotional experience. Getting feedback every day, getting marks back, having comments written on your work, being told this, being told that, it's just full of ups and downs. So having other things in your life, whether it's chess club or it's design or whatever it might be, it's incredibly important. And I think the great thing here is it's very hard to think that we are not able to provide opportunities in clubs and societies for boys, no matter what their interests. So yeah, that alignment between well-being and interests that stay with you for life is really important to me.
It's a fantastic thing that you're doing. With so many co-curricular activities, how are you able to ensure that pupils continue to achieve such strong academic performance?
Yeah, I think it goes a bit back to what I was saying before. I think if people do feel positive and recognized and known, and they feel as though they've got a sense of personal momentum. You might not always be achieving momentum in physics or English or maths or whatever, but in some part of your school life, you can feel yourself developing and growing as a person. Then I think that makes you feel positive, and I think that helps you keep working and keep enjoying it. And keep enjoying it all. But I would say the other thing, and I think one of the immense privileges, and I'm sure all the other people that you speak to say the same. When you walk around somewhere as a head, and you can walk through classrooms and wander into all these different events that are going on, I am consistently struck by how expert colleagues are who are teaching their different subjects, but also how much they care. They care, they're aspirational for the pupils, and they know the pupils, and they're really enthusiastic about their subjects. And those things just affect you, don't they? They are infectious and they carry you along. And I suppose the other thing is we're fortunate in the culture in the school amongst the pupil body. It's aspirational and positive. We've got some immensely clever pupils in the school, and we've also got a broad collective of pupils who want to do really, really well. I mean, our last year's GCSE outcomes, I think the average score last year with the GCSE pupils was 8.25. So it's an A star
Wow.
in old money. I think if you took, I mean, our cohort in the sixth form is very large, but if you took the top 100 of those boys or the top 120 boys in that cohort, I think we might even be one of the very, very top performing schools in the whole country, just on that. So I think that's the other thing that's really remarkable here. It's the range of outcome that's been achieved and the level of outcome that's been achieved as well. So it's great to see.
In this edition, we're particularly interested in boys' education. We've done a lot on single-sex girls' education and had Sheldon Giovannoni and Donna Stevens from the GSA. Um, what do you feel the benefits of a single-sex environment for boys is, and how do your boys benefit from the all-boys environment at Dulwich College specifically?
I think that's a really good question. Because obviously I've just come from being head of a large London co-ed school. So I think there's part of the answer, which for me will always be a bit sort of blind to boys or girls, because I think there are core things in any good school, which you'll know, Chloe, because you get to see and hear from all these schools. There are certain things which are always there, whether they're a boys' school, a co-ed school, or a girls' school. If they're really excellent, there are certain qualities and values and approaches that you just see in all of these schools. But trying to give you a more sort of tangible answer on that, because I can feel that you would like me to do that. I think that well, first of all, we're co-ed up until year two. So that's something just to be mindful of. We're co-ed up until year two, and then typically the girls tend to go to other schools locally from year two. But I think that there's no doubt that you can actually tailor and focus a curriculum towards the boys and the things that they tend to like and the ways in which they like to be taught. And there are one or two sort of, they feel like generalizations, but I would say year on year, we see that they work well and we see that the boys respond positively to them. So the way in which we go about our teaching, the time we spend talking about teaching and learning and reflecting on teaching and learning can be quite focused to boys, and it can be focused to boys at specific ages of their development, which I think is really important. And obviously, we can put all of our resources, whether it be in music, drama, sport, or academic life, we can focus it into, in a concentrated way, trying to support those areas. So, for example, if we look at it from a sporting point of view, all of the facilities that we have here can be focused on delivering the best possible sport for the boys and the greatest range that we can provide. And you can apply that, to all of the different areas of school life as well. I would say, as well, I think there's something in the fact that it does allow the boys to perhaps be a little bit younger and a little bit more honest about the things they enjoy for longer too. I think it allows them to be involved in things, speak up and say things without a sense of being as self-conscious as they might be if there were girls present as well. So there's all of these different things, but I wouldn't, I
Obviously,
wouldn't want
I,
to
I
make it.
imagine you work with girls equally, kind of, it's not an all boy environment all of the time with Jags around the corner and Alleyne's
Yeah,
is
Chloe, I
kind of.
think Yeah, I think that's a really important point, and thank you for mentioning that. We have a huge amount of initiatives with Sydenham High, with Jags, with also other local schools at a younger age as well, and whether that's in the co-curricular life drama, CCF, etc., etc. Yeah, and that's the other bit with this, isn't it? We're
You've
fortunate in that we've got
you've
all
got the
those
best of both
connections.
worlds.
Yeah, we are. We're very lucky, and I think Jags and Sydenham really appreciate that too. So we're just talking about those hours when it's interesting when people ask that question. We're not a remote boarding school. We're talking about a specified number of hours where boys are actually being taught with other boys, and within that, though, increasingly they're getting experience with girls from other local schools anyway, and then lots of them have got sisters and friends beyond the college. So yeah.
We recently featured Andrew Rayner, author and lecturer at Towson University and partner of the International Boys Coalition, who discussed the importance of building resilience in boys. How do you support boys to build and develop resilience? Because obviously, all of us as adults now are realizing this is one of the key things they're going to need to thrive, both in school and beyond school.
I think giving young people as broad a weekly set of experiences as possible it is a way to help them with resilience development that happens implicitly within what you do. I think we can, you can talk to them, you can do all kinds of manner of workshop and everything else, but fundamentally, they learn and gain the self-confidence to realize that they can bounce back, regroup, go again, however you want to express it. They learn that or they gain the confidence in doing that because they actually experience it. Whether that's be through their music or in their maths lesson or in another part of school life. So I think, and the other thing I think that I've always been struck by in school is I strongly believe that pupils' experiences working with other people, as in mentoring them, coaching them, supporting them, particularly if they're at a slightly younger age, which they get opportunities to do here, can be really helpful. It can really make you feel stronger in yourself when you're helping other people to cope with or get ready for other big moments in their life. As well. And then the other thing, which I think sometimes gets a bit overlooked, and I say this as an ex-head of English, I also think I think reading and the arts has a really important role to play in that. There's been loads of global research done around the importance of reading, particularly at a young age, so formative ages, let's say between 8 and 16. It's been shown to increase people's levels of empathy, particularly in young men. And I'm talking about fiction reading, not non-fiction. Non-fiction is also seen to be good, but particularly fiction reading. And I think it's the same for plays or anything like that. And anything which allows you for a period of time, I think, to inhabit somebody else's thoughts and ideas is really positive for you as well, and see the arcs of other people's lives, and not just look at your life in the moment, as it were, and gives you perspective is really positive.
And beyond Dulwich College, your students achieve excellent university offers with over 20 pupils accepted to Oxbridge last year and many more going to Russell Group or Ivy League schools. How do you prepare your students to succeed in the competitive university admissions process and support them through this and beyond their time at Dulwich College?
Yeah, I mean, we're very aware of how competitive not just university applications are in the UK, where most of the pupils, as you say, will go to Russell Group universities. But we also have pupils who are wanting to study in North America. We have pupils who are going into mainland Europe. And we also have a steadily growing number of pupils now who are applying to really prestigious and highly competitive apprenticeship schemes as well with various different organizations and companies. We're lucky in that we have a great sort of careers department who support that, but we also have specialist people supporting particular types of courses that our pupils are applying for, whether that be medicine or engineering, or as I say, if they're looking to go to a specific college in the States or somewhere like that. So, we're fortunate in that respect. And the other thing, just going back to something else I was mentioning before, we have a really big network now of alumni in various different institutions and in different areas of work. And that's a very vibrant body of people. And we've got some really positive methods now of bringing those groups together, talking with each other, giving each other advice and guidance. So that's another thing which is really positive, I think, from the pupils' point of view.
Many of them come in and talk to the boys, don't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They come in. I think it says a huge amount about the college. If we put an email out there to the alumni and say, will you come in and speak about this? Or would you come in and just have a chat about that? Everything from your traditional types of careers or university courses through to the other thing we've got is we've got lots of pupils now or ex-pupils who are involved in entrepreneurial, often incredibly successful entrepreneurial initiatives, really impressive events. We've actually got a group that meets regularly called the Jilks Circle, which is named after a Master of the College, which is specifically to do with entrepreneurial initiatives. So there's loads of different ways now that we're trying to get this whole community to work together for the benefit of the boys coming through.
And finally, I know that it's very early doors, and I'm sure that we'll speak again further down the line and you'll have lots to tell me. But what are your hopes or plans looking forwards for Dulwich College?
As you say, there's loads of different things. I think, I think, I firmly believe that schools in the end come down to the culture of what goes on in a classroom and in a form room. And I think if pupils feel known and recognized and valued and motivated, then they tend to do really well. And and they're like small microcosms, the classroom. So if you get what goes on in the classroom right, then everything else sort of develops from that point. I think just to think about some other areas that we're interested in, we're very interested in the ways in which the whole of our network of schools across the world can be brought together and work together. And the other thing, it was nice to hear you touch on just at the start of the podcast, we are one college. We do have pupils who start. There are boys, and I've been talking to them recently. There are boys in our upper six who started in the school in Dulwich when they were babies. They started at 6 months, and there's a handful of them who've gone all the way through. So I'm also very interested in, and I know this is a thing, and it'd be nice to chat with you a bit more about this actually separately. I know that it's almost like you can feel societally parents are very interested in the ways in which the college can be an environment in which they can establish a relationship with and maintain that relationship as their child grows and goes through, because that building up that sense of trust from a very young age and knowing that your child is going to be understood and looked after and taken care of as they get older is something that is incredibly important to our families, and it's something that I believe we can offer. And so we're very interested in this idea of how we can feel and act as an all through environment in the coming years as well.
I think for parents, there's a lot of security in that also, because
and for the pupils as well. I can see that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I know you're incredibly busy.
That's all right.
And I've caught you at the worst time of year.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that many parents would be very interested to hear you speaking about Dulwich College now and in the future.
Yeah, very much. And I'm sure you'll say the same thing, but parents are always welcome. We've always got different tours or talks or sessions on the go. So parents, if they're interested in coming to the school, they just need to contact our admissions team, and we'd love to see you.
Yeah, we always say that they must visit the school. It's so important.
It is. All right. Thank you very much.